My office is in contact with over 100 Bitwise employees to represent them against Bitwise for their violations of state and federal law. Bitwise and its leadership clearly knew that not only was the end near, but the end was going to be ugly.
Do you guys believe the CEOs of Bitwise are criminals?
There's a lot that we don't know. We're learning new information, not every day, but roughly every 12 hours at this point. To pass judgment, it's too soon to say.
The things that lead me to the conclusion that the Bitwise administration knew that the end was near and it was going to be ugly are, one thing for certain would be the change in the payroll system. To suddenly and abruptly discontinue that method of payment to your employees and then start handing out paper checks, to me that shows a knowing and intelligent and planned effort to buy time and to conceal the fact that they were imminently collapsing.
Reason why we're all here is we're concerned about the 300 families in Fresno that have been impacted by this sudden and difficult news.
The stories that I'm hearing from these employees that have been affected are just heartbreaking. You have folks that went and deposited their paychecks thinking that everything was safe, and their banks gave them a credit against that check deposit to go pay bills, and now all their checks are bouncing. You have folks that rent was due yesterday. Today's June 2nd. They're not going to be able to make rent. They're not going to be able to make their mortgage. They're not going to be able to make car payments. There are some families that have contacted me where both earners of the household were Bitwise employees. So they flatly had the rug pulled out from underneath them. It's just unconscionable. Our steps at this point are to try and gather as many people as we can together here to have a unified voice so that we can have an effective way forward.
How are they eligible for the grant still with delinquent taxes?
I think that's one of the things that we need to tighten up. I asked specifically whether it be Bitwise or any company that we do business with on any Thursday council meeting, if we have included in our process to ensure that people they have their business tax certificate. We're still looking into where that is in the system. Clearly, that didn't happen in this instance. As with any bureaucracy, you have different departments doing different things. So we need to make sure that we have a comprehensive checkoff system to make sure that everybody's, before the contract is signed, that's part of the checklist, that people have a current business tax certificate.
I anticipate we'll probably initiate litigation next week. It will be a class action. Bitwise was very clearly overextended, overcommitted, and was on the brink of collapse before they toss their employees under the bus as they have. But through the litigation process and what we're doing before we file, we are investigating all avenues of recovery. God willing, there'll be something there for these families, and I'm in it for the long haul to find out. We've set up a dedicated email for it as well. If people want to reach out, it's bitwise@bonakdarlawfirm.com. We're going to also do a further announcement next week on that to streamline gathering information and getting contacts in with folks to move forward. It's very important that people that have access to the financial records, pay stubs, 401k statements, that they pool those things, that they preserve them, because we are going to use those against Bitwise.